Hello everyone, Brickosaurus227, and welcome to the Nerf Archives Season 3, Episode 14. If you know, you know. Today we're going to be doing the episode on the Nerf N-Strike Elite Stryfe, and this blaster has one of the biggest and best legacies of the entire Nerf hobby. But here's the thing, the Stryfe isn't one of my favorite blasters. I haven't really done a lot of mods with them. I haven't had a ton of experience with them. I mean, I own a lot. I have like 6 or 7 of them. But I don't really have a lot of experience with them. I'm not really qualified to talk about this. But today I have someone who is, and sadly no, it's not Coop. I would like to have you on an episode someday. If you ever come back, hit me up, please. But who is going to be talking about the Stryfe? Well, it is going to be the man, myth, the legend, Phase 1 Foam himself. He has probably had more experience with the Stryfe than 90% of people in the hobby. That's just my guess. He has modded hundreds of these blasters. He has had so much experience with them. So I feel like he is the most qualified person I know to talk about the Stryfe. So without further ado, let's bring it on to Phase 1 Foam. But first, cue the intro.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, the hair might be fake, but the reviews aren't any. They're my opinions. My name is FaZe, and this is the Archives. This time we're going over the Nerf Stryfe. This one specifically is a Gen 1 Blue Nerf Elite Stryfe. Let's get into it. I've done legitimately over 800 Stryfe mods in the 10 years I've been in this hobby. I know a fair amount about this blaster. Starting off at the front, there is an N-Strike barrel lug, so you can add any kind of attachments you want, and Chrono barrel, stuff like that. You have a 1 tactical rail, 2 tactical rails, so you put a scope up here, foregrip down here, or if you're in Australia, you put a optic right here, and a foregrip right here, because that's how Australians live. They live upside down. Moving on to the jam door, you get your finger in there to gain jams out. And I've not experienced any jams with this, minus the usual with the Gen 1 because of that stupid mechanical lock in there. Down in there, you see right there, that orange piece is the dart detection lock. So it will not let you shoot the blaster until it detects that there is a dart in there. And over time, wearing out that spring on that lock actually makes it extremely hard for you to use it without opening the blaster, taking out that one lock. If you get a Gen 1, I highly recommend you take that one lock out because you are legitimately gonna screw yourself over if you have it in there. Moving back to the grip, this grip is nice and comfy. It feels really good on the hand. Arguably, you could make the argument that's a little bit small for my hand, but it fits great. I like the grip on it, it feels good. Triggers, we have the rev trigger, which is nice and clicky and it functions very well. It's a stock switch in there, obviously. The mag release, everyone hates on the Stryfe mag release, but it's just a very nice push button. If you wanted to swap out for a worker one, you could. But I like the Stryfe mag release. Moving on to the firing trigger. This is a very smooth trigger, and with very little modification by taking out locks and stuff, you can make the pull even smoother, as keen on numerous Stryfe mods I've done videos on my channel. Now let's move on to my personal opinions. You guys know I don't do rating systems. What are my thoughts on the Stryfe? Stock, it's not the best. At bare minimum, I tell everyone this: remove all the locks, mechanical and electronical, rewire for IMRs. At bare minimum, just take the locks out and just rewire. You don't even need to use IMRs, just rewire it because you're drawing power from your batteries to use those locks. And it's just less efficient. You can make it more efficient even on AA's. Now, what does it offer us today? A whole hell of a lot of options. The Stryfe is probably one of the most, if not the most modded blaster in probably the history of our hobby. It's up there on that list though, for sure. You have new cages, new motors, new flywheels, you have smart boards, you have full auto kits, you have freaking computers you can put into this thing. You have that sight from N-Strike that freaking is a computer in itself, changing FPS and power, all that crap. It's mind-blowing what people have done with these. Integrations, stravens, poon bows, stuff like that. The amazing stuff you can do with these is matched by no other blaster, and I mean that when I say that. The Stryfe, easily one of the best blasters in the history of a hobby. Change my mind, because you can't. Now, obviously, you can take a Stryfe from, this born like this, and you turn into something like this. This is Phantom. This is my personal Stryfe that I built from the ground up, and it's one of the best Stryfes in my arsenal. This is just a quick example of what you can make a Stryfe do. Running on just upgraded motors, flywheels, running off a 2S LiPo battery, gain up about 125 feet per second. That's double the freaking FPS of a stock Stryfe, over double. Who needs stock blasters? Mod, come on, let's go, bros. Honestly though, this is just a simple example of what you can do. Nice paint work and everything like that. You can go way higher than this. LEDs and everything like that in a Stryfe. It's amazing. Thank you to Brickosaurus227 for allowing me to be on the Archives series. I love this series and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Archives. Stay tuned, more to come. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, as always, the hair might be fake, but the reviews aren't, and neither are my opinions. Stay safe, God bless. Phase 1 Foam signing off. Stay tactical.
Huge thanks to Phase 1 Foam for being in this episode of the Nerf Archives. Now, while I think the stock blaster itself is overrated, severely overrated, the mod potential and legacy and what it has to offer the hobby is definitely not overrated. Because it's all of that and much more. Nerf really hasn't topped a more moddable format and blaster like this. They could technically, but they really haven't. There's just so much history with this blaster, it would be a whole nother video, worth a whole video in and of itself. But I can't talk about all the variants this thing has because, whew, there's a lot of them. Now I currently only own 2 variants, the orange one and the battle camo version. But of course there's the blue version which has better stock motors. There's also the Stryfe CQB10, which is incredibly rare, and the more popular Modulus Stryfe. But I agree with Phase 1 Foam, this deserves the amazing rating. Anyway guys, thank you all for tuning into this episode of the Nerf Archives. I've been waiting to do a Stryfe episode for a while now, mainly because I wanted to get the right person to do it. And when I was originally pulling up the concept for this series, Coop basically quit right when I started filming, so that kind of sucks because I was hoping someday to get him to talk about the Stryfe, but we got the next best person to do it, Phase 1 Foam. So anyway guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, tomorrow's the finale. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's going to be really good.
My junk drawer, my junk drawer. So many things I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.